What's something you found out your daughter was doing that broke you? My 15-year-old daughter Emma has always been quiet. Not shy, just keeps to herself. Good grades, no trouble, spends most afternoons in her room doing homework or reading. Last month I noticed she'd been getting home later from school. When I asked, she said she joined study group. Made sense. Emma's always been serious about her education. But then I started finding these random $20 bills around the house. In the laundry, tucked in her backpack, folded in her textbooks. When I asked where the money came from, she'd shrug and say she found it or a friend paid her back. That didn't sit right with me. 15-year-olds don't just find $20 bills lying around. I started worrying she was involved in something dangerous. Drugs, stealing, worse things I didn't want to think about. One Thursday, I decided to follow her after school. I felt terrible about it, but I needed to know what was going on. I parked across the street and watched her walk in the opposite direction from home. She went to the elementary school 3 blocks away. I followed at a distance, thinking maybe she was tutoring younger kids for money. That would explain the cash and the late arrivals. But when I got to the school, I saw something that made my chest tight. Emma was sitting on the playground with this little boy, maybe 6 years old. He was crying, and she was gently wiping his face with tissues from her backpack. I moved closer and heard her talking to him. "It's okay, Marcus. Your mom will be here soon. She's just working late again. Want to practice reading while we wait?" She pulled out a picture book and started reading to him. The kid snuggled up next to her like she was his big sister. They sat there for an hour, reading and talking quietly. When a tired-looking woman in scrubs finally showed up, she hugged Emma tight. "Thank you so much, honey. I don't know what Marcus would do without you." The woman tried to hand Emma some money, but Emma shook her head. "Mrs. Davis, I told you I don't need payment. Marcus is my friend." But Mrs. Davis insisted, pressing the bills into Emma's hand. "Please, you're saving my life here. I can't afford after-school care, and you're keeping him safe." I followed them home, staying far back. That's when I realized this wasn't the first time. Emma had been doing this for months. Every day after school, she'd walk to the elementary school and wait with kids whose parents couldn't pick them up on time. That night, I confronted her about it. She got defensive immediately, thinking she was in trouble. "Dad, I know you said I can't have a job until 16, but Mrs. Davis really needed help. Marcus was sitting alone on the playground until 6 every day. There are 3 other kids too. Their parents work late shifts and can't afford childcare." She showed me her notebook where she'd written down each child's name, their parents' phone numbers, and what time they usually got picked up. She'd been keeping track like a professional babysitter. "I don't take money from all of them," she said quickly. "Only Mrs. Davis because she's a nurse and she insisted. The other parents just say thank you, and that's enough for me." I sat down hard on her bed. My daughter had been running an unofficial after-school program for weeks, making sure little kids weren't alone and scared. She was spending her own time, using her own money for snacks and activities, just because she saw kids who needed help. "Emma, why didn't you tell me?" She looked down at her hands. "Because I thought you'd say it was too much responsibility, or that I should focus on my own schoolwork instead. But Dad, you should see how happy Marcus gets when someone reads to him. His mom works double shifts just to pay rent." The next day, I drove to the elementary school and met with the principal. Told her what Emma had been doing. Turns out the school knew about it and had been grateful someone was watching the kids. "Your daughter has been a godsend," the principal said. "We've been trying to get funding for an extended care program, but the district keeps saying no." Emma saw a need and filled it. That weekend, I helped Emma set up a proper system. Got her a first aid kit, emergency contact forms, activities for the kids. I even talked to the other parents about rotating snacks and supplies. Watching Emma organize everything with such care and maturity, I realized I'd raised someone who sees problems and fixes them instead of walking away. She wasn't getting in trouble. She was being the person I'd always hoped she'd become.